Hello guys. In our previous lecture, like we have seen how we are creating the Excel utils, data provider utils, and how we can avoid writing the in each and every method we are writing the data provider, which class and what is the data provider name. Those all the things we can avoid by adding the annotation transformer. But this is the interface, like I annotation transformer interface, and transformer is a method. And with the help of this, we are setting the annotation.set driver, set data provider, where we are adding the name of the data provider and the class of the data provider, where we are return the logic to get the data from the Excel and validate if it is a executable true or false, like executable yes or no. And it will matching the name of the test, like what method we are executing, and that should match with a test name present inside our Excel file here. Not this one. So here we have this perform login. So that should match with our method, like class inside class we have a method, right? So that method name should match. So that is how we are verifying the method name present in executing during the execution, that method name and the method name present inside the Excel file. So if it is matching, then we are adding those methods inside the matching row, and we are converting back it to array. And like when we are executing that Excel file, XML file, so that time we are adding this listener here. So in order to make sure, like, no need to add the data provider name and data provider class in each and every test. So instead of that, we are directly adding it inside the listeners inside the XML file. So from here only we need to execute the test cases. So that we have learned. And today's session we are going to discuss how we are creating the reports and how we are creating the listener class, and while executing, how it will pass and fail. Those things we are, if it is failing, then how we can capture the screenshot. Those are the things we can make sure uh, that should be executed, like that report should be generated properly and all. So those things we are making sure in this session. So before that, so I'll quickly show the report, the by default test XML file report, TestNG XML file report, which will get auto generated if we are executing this XML file. So this is a email format report, so which will get created after the test case is run. So this XML file is get executed, and this is another index.html report, so which is in a HTML format, and you can see, one second. So this is how it will look. So here you can see the how many methods and class are got passed inside this one suit. The test name, like one test is got passed, so that we can see, and one method and one passed, so that we can see here, and that method name is perform login flow. So this is how we can validate, like how many cases are passed and failed, so that we can see by using the default reports which are got generated after executing the testng.xml file. So now if we want a proper extent reports, then we need to create one more folder here, report, and inside this we can create a extent manager. So this basically extent manager, what it will do means, so here we are creating the thread local for this extent manager, thread local for the extent test, extent test extent is equal to new thread local. So we are creating the thread local, so each and every, while executing the each and every test, so this extent will have a independent threads. So in order to make sure that one, we are adding those inside the thread local. Okay, so here we can create So here we can here we need to remove that, basically unload we need to do. So this is about the extent manager, what we need to create. And one more class we can create, that is of extent report. Okay, so here inside extent report we need to create basically three methods. First one is, in order to initiate report, for that we need to create one method. Second method is create report. We need to pass the test name here, and post that we need to create a unload. Extent report. Extend spark reporter is equal to new extend spark reporter. Here we need to pass the path of that extend reporter. Constant dot get extend reporter file path, and then reporter dot config dot set theme dark. We can do reporter dot config dot set report name as automation report, and reporter dot config dot set document title as, we can give any name like UI automation framework, UI automation prod report. So like this we can give, and post that we need to attach that one. So we need to extend report dot attach reports dot attach reporter by reporter. So this should be extend reports basically, not extend report. So we can attach the report here, and post that we can create a report by using extend manager dot set extend. Then we can use the extend reports dot create test, and test name we can give. So with this it will create the set the extend test, and we are creating the extend report, and then we can do the extend reports dot flush we can do. So in order to what once the report got created, and once the execution is done, so we can flush the report in order to generate the report. Basically flushing means it is combining the all the reports, so that is the meaning of that. And we need to have one we can create extend logger also, the extend logger class. So here we are basically writing the like simple methods, public static void pass we can write. So we can pass the string, any message we can pass. So this is basically when we are running that one, and by using the listener class and all, so there we can use this extend logger. So if it is passing or failing or skipping, so those all the things it will get captured here. So for if it is a pass, so then we can write it as extend manager dot get extend test, no, not extend test. So like this we can create the pass, fail I can create, and skip I can do. And here with fail I can create the this one message by adding message. If not, we can also add the boolean value we can add. Okay, so in order to call this one, so we it like ExtentManager dot get extent test dot pass, so we can pass the message here. The same thing we can do for fail as well, for skip as well. And if here value is true, then it should create the add the screenshot also. So for screenshot adding, I will create one more method basically. So this is for fail and this is for skip. Okay, we can create one more method, one more class, ScreenshotUtils. So inside this we can create one method, that is public static void string we can, and here I can create the method name as get base 64 images, and here we can create return take screenshot driver manager.get driver dot get screenshot as output type base 64. So this will return the string, and that we can utilize inside the ExtentLogger. So here we can write ExtentManager dot get extent dot fail. So here we can pass the message, also we can pass the value, but not value, like a entity builder dot create screen capture, and here we need to pass the ScreenshotUtils dot build we need to add. So by this way we are adding that screenshot also if it is failing. So if it is not true, then in that case we can simply write the method fail as message. So this we can follow in order to create the logs if based on the listener class. So listener class also we can create this. So this listeners basically implements I test I listeners, not I listeners, I test listener, I test listeners. So here we are following the methods. So these are the methods which we are following here, which basically we are giving the implementation for these methods. So we want on test on start we need, so this method we need, so that we can add here, and we can make it as public, and we need a on test success, on test start we need, on test success, on test failure, on test skip, and this we know not required, these two. So these basically we can skip, and here we can make it as public instead of default. Okay, and once the start on test start, we can create a extent manager dot get extent we can do. Once this is done, so we can create a method by creating ExtentReport dot create report, and here result dot get name get method dot get method name we can give, and post that ExtentLogger dot pass on success. So basically it will pass. So we can give a method message as result dot get method plus we can give a message as passed. So this like this we can write a log also on test success, on test skip also we can write same thing, but only the skipped message should be different, and on test finish, so we can write extent manager dot unload we can do, so it will get unloaded, and extent on test failure. So basically we already have that method, on test skip we need to write here, and on test pass, instead of that on test fail we need to write, and this is basically failed we can write, and same we can copy paste comma true we can write. So if we can just click on this and see this boolean is there, and it is fail, so we can go to this method ExtentLogger dot fail. So here it is expecting not null boolean, so boolean we can use, and here we can tell true. True we can write. So it will take the screenshot basically on test failure. So if we need to verify that as well, so we can do the hard assert false we can do on failure. So in order to run this as well, so we need to add this also under this listeners. Okay, so if we need to really fail that and see the screenshot, so then we can click login. Inside this we can just add the, or else inside the same method only we can add, that is also fine. Assert dot assert true, and I will write as false. So this basically it will fail the case, so we can just run the XML file. So this got failed. Okay, so this got failed because assertion was not passing. So this is different one, null pointer exception it is throwing, so we can check that one. But if we see this report, where the report got generated, so we have mentioned it inside the listeners, and once it is failed, so the path we have given here, not this one. So here basically it is checking ExtentReport file. If it is empty, then it will create the ExtentReport folder in user directory with the name of extent test output, and inside that it will create the file name .index.html. So if I can see, I can't find that file package name as ExtentReport folder. Okay, so let me just check like why it is not getting created. Extent reports could not be made. Okay, so this is basically happening as we are not initiating that one with the initiation is not done, initialization. So if I run now again, again failing at same point. Initiation is not done for this. Let me just quickly check. So we have initiate listeners, and here we have done the get instant. So instead of that, we need to do the extent report dot initiate report. So once we are initiating the report, then at the end we need to do the extent report dot unload we need to do. So now let us run. So we can see that now it got failed and report got generated. Let us see report. So this is what the report got generated, and if we open this one, so we can see that image is also got added where it is failing. So like this we can get the report, and if you want to add the logs also here, so that also we can do. So we can also add the result dot get throwable. So why it is failing, so those all the data also we can get. So if you the report is we got, and if we refresh this one, let me just open. Still we are not getting. Okay, we got it here, I guess. So assertion is failed and expected is true, but we found the false. So this is why the reason, and here we can see this failed, which method got failed and what is the reason. So this is how we can validate and get the screenshot if the test is failing. So this is what about today's session. Just to revise quickly, so we have created an extent manager where we are adding the extent in a thread local. So in order to give the create multiple instance of this extent, and we have created the extent report class where we are adding the three methods: initiate report, create report, and unload the report. And logger also we have added, so where we can add the loggers, and also like we can capture the screenshot. So that screenshot method also we have seen how we can create the get base64 image from the this method that returns the string, and that we are capturing inside the fail by passing the boolean as false. So if it is a true, then it is attaching the screenshot. If it is false, then we are not attaching the screenshot. So this we are handling inside our listener class, inside the on test failure method. So with the result, if it is a failed, then we can add the true. So in order to get the screenshot, if we don't want a screenshot, we can add the false. And also we have seen how we can add the extra additional information inside the failure log. So we can add the result dot get throwable, so that will throw the what error we are getting here. So same thing it will paste inside the report as well. So this is for the today's session. So in next session we will see the how the method interceptor will work, and what all other Cucumber BDD features and all we can create. So those things we can see in our next upcoming lecture. So till there, keep learning. Bye bye guys.